Hey everybody, welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Remember a few videos ago when I mentioned this performance upgrade?
Would be your brakes and rotors. So you can go get some Hawk 5.0 pads and some slotted, maybe drilled. That is something that you're gonna notice. It's something that you can feel right off the bat. Well, I would normally say I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, but as you can see here, I already own some slotted rotors and some Hawk pads.
Before we continue today's content, we want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Super Clean who are sponsoring another giveaway. All you have to be doing to be part of this giveaway is be following us on Instagram and be in the lower continental 48 United States to receive this Super Clean giveaway. This is the original and the aerosol. I use both of these cleaners daily. That's why you see the shop as clean as it is. Keep stuff off the floor, keep stuff off the lift, off the cars. Fantastic stuff. Once again, huge thanks to Super Clean. Make sure you are following us on Instagram to be part of this giveaway.
These are not new items. They were on the 330 Ci, the white race car. We moved them off and put them onto the E46 death cart. From there, the death cart has been kind of smashed up and these pads and rotors were no longer being used. So we pulled the calipers off the car. We're not going to be moving the calipers over to the black M3, obviously, because we don't need to do that. The calipers are the same size. But these Hawk 5.0 pads are fantastic. We won't be running those in the rear. The rears do have new brakes and rotors. They are basically stock. The fronts are going to be swapped over, like I said, to these, and it should be basically just a plug and play. So as always, we'll have the links to these in the description below. These were originally bought through ECS Tuning, and like I said, we're not going to be using this caliper here. We'll be just pulling the pads out. Now, this system right here, the only reason I'm using it is because it was only on my race car for about 2 years. So it got about, I don't know, 4,000 to 5,000 miles on it. And then it got another like 2,000 or 3,000 miles on the death cart. And I would say that because every time we drove those cars, because it was harsh, we were basically abusing the brakes and the systems on the car, that it would be more wear and tear than usual. But at the same time, the cars didn't weigh as much as like a normal vehicle. So I don't feel bad about this. There's no lip on this and there's almost no wear on these Hawk pads. If you buy something like this, you might get squealing out of your Hawk pads. I never got anything like that. So yes, huge upgrade. This is one of the things that I mentioned in a previous video about my track upgrades is doing your brakes. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I think I've mentioned this several times in the past, if you have a 323, 325, 328, that when you're doing a caliper upgrade, if you want to go to a bigger caliper, you don't have to do M3 calipers. They're going to want to charge you more money for M3 calipers, and this rotor size is the exact same. The only difference is that this is 25 millimeters thick and the M3 is 28 millimeters thick. So if you want to do bigger brakes on a budget, if you're running a base model 3 Series, you can actually put 330 either CI or the sedan brakes on your 325 and be able to jump up to the bigger front and rear rotors. It's a direct fit. You don't have to change anything else out. So just another thing I want to talk about real quick. It is something that if you're doing this on a budget, people would probably sell their 330 brakes fairly cheap, not even knowing that they're essentially the same size as M3 brakes and rotors. All right, so everything cleaned up real nice. Went and took it on a quick drive. You don't have to do the drilled rotors. In fact, I've heard that there's actually downsides to drilled rotors. I don't know all the details, but I know that slotted are a really good way to go. And where we already had these, I think it was a really good fit for the car. They slid right on. It's a super simple install. You can have both sides done in less than an hour as long as everything comes off properly and there's not a lot of rust, which I run into quite often. I will have everything I recommend doing to your brakes when you go to do a brake job linked in the description below. I really appreciate everybody so much for watching. Stay tuned. We will be doing lots more to this car. A lot more daily driven performance upgrades will be happening in this car, even though it is a race car such as these brakes. I wouldn't have any problem recommending these pads and rotors for daily driven use. Thanks again so much for watching. We'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!